Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market today on this wonderful Wednesday morning. We have a fabulous weather both in Delhi and Bombay. The air has cleaned out all the pollution, and that has also worked wonders for sentiment on Dalal Street. Get ready for a record high both on the Nifty as well as on many other indices. The sentiment on the street is fabulous. We should see 20,000 on the board on Nifty fairly soon, and then of course a record high. But all that and more after headlines. India's Nifty is likely to rescale the 20,000 point mark on Wednesday as strong overseas cues feed already aggressive bulls on Dalal Street. And a fresh record peak is on its way for the index as relatively less expensive blue chips play catch up on soaring mid caps. Traders are likely to stick to government-owned PSUs in the cash segment as they offer more value compared with private sector stocks. Therefore, railway, energy, metal themes within the PSUs are likely to shine on further. Caution is advised on aggressive buying. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, on Market today. Let's begin with the daily chart of Nifty, which you've been seeing for such a long time. Well, the trend is fairly up, and we've seen the index break out of a 7-8 day consolidating session in which it was sideways ahead of election results. But yesterday, whether it is the news of 41 miners being rescued successfully, whether it's the news of fresh equity investments coming in from US overseas pension funds, whatever be it, the index moved out of that range on the higher side and closed around 19,900, up about 95 points. The trends point to a further gain as far as the index is concerned. 20,000 is what the GIFT Nifty is pointing at, and beyond that, because the liquidity from the 5 most recently launched IPOs will be coming back into the system by early next week, you will see a very strong traction on Nifty. November in any case has been fantastic for the index, up about 5.1% so far. Remember, this is the best month for the index since October 2022, and we still have 2 sessions for the monthly expiry of FNO to end. So whether it will be short covering, whether it will be fresh buying, that remains to be seen. But the fact is that 20,000 should come fairly soon, and then we have the 20,281 level, the record high on the Nifty, to scale up. Now, any dip towards 19,900, which is a very strong support on the options chain for the Nifty for the next week, which is December 7th, offers an opportunity to get back on the trend on a fairly strong zone. And a lot of positives have been coming into the index. As you see, it is the highest since September 20th. So a 2-month high is what we are seeing on the Nifty, and that's coupled with a very sharp fall in the US 10-year bond yield, which is trading at its lowest level since September 14th. That has made a lot of overseas fund managers aggressive again on Indian equities, and that's the reason why you see a lot of FII money to the tune of about 5,000 crore rupees in terms of net purchases coming back on Dalal Street. So FII buying, a drop in US bond yield, very aggressive domestic investors will see the Nifty probably scale 20,000 initially in today's trade, and maybe a record high is in the works early next week. Remember, we were in election mode for 5 states, and that was one of the reasons why the market wasn't sideways. We really don't know what holds as far as exit polls are concerned and what the final outcome is. But given the kind of rally that you've seen on the Nifty, the index ended almost near day's high, is the reason for the bulls to be enthused further. Now, how do you play this? Just buy a decent diversified equity fund. If you haven't bought it yesterday, the best day is today, and that's how you play this rally in the safest possible manner with the least amount of risk. What you need to do is that if you're getting into new trades, please keep your stop loss very close to your current market price. Options data are concerned. So this is what we are looking at. Without further ado, let's welcome our dear friend Mr. Gaurang Shah into the conversation. A very warm welcome to you, Gaurang, and a fabulous good morning. You've always believed in the India long-term story. We see 20,000 on the board fairly soon. What, according to you, is the sentiment on Dalal Street?
Thank you, Shail, and morning to all of you also. We did spend some time. The way did we spend very recently in the month of August, if you recollection, before we took over the resistance level and hit the all-time high of 20,200. And in the month of August, it was the same trajectory, but 1,000 points below. 18,200, 300 on the lower side, 18,400, 500 on the higher side. And then 18,800 become the head resistance. Similarly, I think before we made those moves yesterday, 19,200, 19,300 was the support on the lower side, where we bounced back a couple of times, and 19,500 was difficult to take off. But we managed to do that, and we gave a fantastic closing yesterday. In fact, I was quite pleasantly surprised, let me say this. 19,890, close to there. I think the Nifty spot closed. Let's hope that this momentum continues, but Shell, we have to remember, tomorrow is the FNO expiry, if I'm not mistaken. We will see choppiness, volatility in the market. Bears would try to protect their trajectory, and the bulls would want to push forward and pull down the bears. So my understanding is that we will eventually move up, but because of the FNO expiry, there will be a little bit of tricky wicket to bat on. Not to forget, next week we will have the outcome of 5 state elections. That may have slight bit of impact on the market, depending upon which way the wind is blowing, to be very honest, and whether we are getting any clear mandate or whether it is going to be a hung verdict. So we'll have to be a little bit, and you are absolutely right. If you're trading from a short to medium term point of view, I think you need to keep your stop losses very close to the price at which you purchase, so that the damage is minimum.
Without further ado, Gaurang, what are the one or two stocks that you are still finding attractive at current levels, given the way the Nifty's reacted in November? And of course, mid-cap Nifty 10.4% higher in November, and we still have a session left.
Well, yes. So fundamentally speaking, I think we've been positive on the life insurance segment for a pretty long period of time. Even when a lot of people advised to stay away, we were always of that belief that, listen, after the pandemic, I think wisdom has prevailed upon a lot of people. They would want to go out and take an insurance, not just for the sake of taking an insurance, but a very decent sum assured. That's what is translating. We saw both general as well as life insurance companies were in the spotlight. So one company on which we had a buy recommendation during the IPO, we have come out with renewed targets on the upside, and that is LIC of India, a leading name in the business as far as life insurance is concerned. 820 is the target on LIC. And the second one, Shell, is from the aviation pack, and that is none other than Interglobe Aviation. I think the airline set a record of 2,000 flights daily sometime back. There are a little bit of news flow with respect to the Pratt and Whitney engines. In case if they give trouble, then you will have a decent number of aircrafts grounded unless and until the issue is sorted out. But on interglobe aviation, from a long-term point of view, we are targeting somewhere close to about 3,000 levels.
Wonderful. And both stocks, as far as the broader markets are concerned, haven't more or less participated in this fantastic rally that's unfolding in the Lal Street. LIC, if you ignore Friday's and Monday's move, Fridays and Tuesdays move has been languishing much below its IPO price. And it's just the rally that we saw sparking on Friday that's brought back this fabulous franchise from the government side onto investors and traders radar. And of course Interglobe Aviation, while Gaurang can speak more confidently on Indigo, the one point I'd like to add is that this company is generating something like 15,000 crore rupees of cash on an annual basis on a market capitalization of 1 lakh crores. So of course this is a large cap stock, but can large cap turn into mega caps? That's what the secret and the story is on the Lal Street. And I'd just like to make an aside. Gaurang is wearing a light green shirt with a dark green background. I'm wearing a light green shirt as well, and that should also enthuse bulls on the long side. So 20,000, ladies and gentlemen, is coming. Please tighten your seat belts. What else, Gaurang? Cement is buzzing. We've always kept a very soft corner for JK Lakshmi Cement as far as your picks are concerned. Anything in the large cap that attracts your attention?
Well, there are all four names that feature in our fundamental coverage: Shell, Ultratech, ACC, Ambuja, Grasim. But Shell, I think you are absolutely right. Whether large caps can become mega caps and whether mid caps can become a large cap, I think that's the theme that we very dedicatedly follow as far as investment ideas is concerned on the fundamental side at Geojit Financial Services. So likes of Ultratech, ACC, Ambuja is always there, Grasim, etc. But you mentioned JK Lakshmi Cement, which we discussed on this show some months back, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 months back. Similarly, there is one more mid-cap company, not one, but we cover a couple of them. But if I have to mention one, then that's Ramco Cement. Here again, I think after the second quarter earnings, we have raised the targets to 1150 on Ramco Cements. I think the stock is somewhere close to about 970. And of course, I'm sure you definitely remember Dalmia Bharat, a stellar run on that company as well, a mid-cap idea. So we believe that this mid-cap cement companies will, possibly replicate what the mid-cap IT has done compared to the large-cap IT names.
Right. Let's, Gaurang, pay a little attention to the pre-open rates. It's a 61-point jump on the Nifty. 19,950, ladies and gentlemen, is in front of you. And before we check what transactions are happening in the mid-cap space, I'd just like to mark Zomato. A block deal of 29 crore shares has happened on the Bombay Stock Exchange. And it's one of the original promoters of Zomato, which has exited partly its stake. We'll keep a focus on that, but for the moment, let's look at what pre-open is doing. Tata Motors, ladies and gentlemen, changes a digit. Record high, now above the 7,000 mark. Remember, this is one of the biggest beneficiaries of a soon-to-be listed Tata Technologies. It was the selling parent in the OFS, and today opening 1.1% higher, consistent record highs here. Let's look at the index heavyweights. Okay. I want to see what Reliance is doing. It's up 0.36%, 2403. I'd like to see what Infosys is doing, flat 1442, and HDFC Bank minorly down about 1.2%, 1509. How about Axis and Kotak Bank? Both of them are in the green, 1% higher on Kotak, 1759. Axis a third of a percent higher, almost half a percent higher, 1026. And how about ICICI Bank? Yes, it's up a percent, 934. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a very sharp move on Bank Nifty, simply because we see strong traction coming in Axis, ICICI and Kotak, and HDFC Bank, which had opened about a percent lower, is now flat at about 1528. Let's pay attention to what's happening on the FNO space, which is minus the index heavyweights. Okay, let's look at the top gainers. Delta Corp 3.7% higher, 137.65. Let's look at the most active counters, and at the moment let's look at top gainers. They present a better picture. Bharti Airtel, 4 digits again. This is a fresh record high, 1006, 2.1% higher. Hindustan Aeronautics 2333, Tata Power 275, all of them up between 1.5% and 2%. Siemens 3690, 1.2% higher. Strong moves coming in Petronet LNG. Remember, this is a beaten down counter within the PSU energy space, 1.3% higher, 199. The Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, 92 points higher at 19,982. It's just a shade 18 points below 20,000, and once it hits 20,000, it will be a fresh 2-month high. The sentiment, Gauranga, fabulously bullish across the Lal Street. Blue chips are now playing a very strong catch-up. Sectors and groups are coming up on radar. Would you want to comment obliquely on how the rally shaped up on Adani stocks, Adani Group stocks yesterday?
Well, I'll just comment on the group as such. We don't cover any specific names, so I won't comment on company specific, but I think it was the outcome of the ruling from the court, if I'm not mistaken. It was about day before yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, Shail. And as far as the Heidenberg issue is concerned. So, this entire group of companies over the last maybe about 6 or 8 months, since the time this news hit the market, they react more on the news flow, Shail, rather than on the earnings. And one or two companies' earnings, if I recollect right, and if my memory serves me right, was not really exciting to the market, and the market punished that particular company. I don't remember exactly which one it was. But these companies will tend to react on the news flow and rather than the fundamentals. And on a positive news flow for the companies, these stocks would rally 4-5%. And on the negative news flow on the group companies with respect to these legal issues, they will correct also 4-5%. So you need to have a tremendous amount of risk appetite in case if you are getting into these names. No specific comments since we don't have coverage, but let me say this, Shail. I think there are better groups and better companies listed, which one can look at on the fundamental from a long-term point of view.
Absolutely, and with that extremely wisdom-filled cautionary note on the group, which has, how should I say, gathered a lot of attention in yesterday's trade. Let's proceed forward. Congratulations, Gaurang. We see 20,000 on the Nifty as far as intra pre-open trades are concerned, and let's hope that Mr. Charlie Munger, who's now with the gods, is also working towards the betterment of the Indian stock markets. I personally believe that you'll see fresh momentum coming back on the Nifty fairly soon now that 20,000 is back with the bulls. Gaurang, I also wanted to pick your brain on the fact that 3 days of consistent fund buying from our foreign friends has also enthused bulls on the Lal Street. Do you think that the worst is behind us? The US 10-year yield, of course, at its lowest level since mid-September. That's also adding to sentiment on the Lal Street.
So that adds to the sentiments, of course, by default, Shail. And honestly speaking, I think a couple of years back, Shail, you and me used to discuss about during this time FI selling and going away because December is the yearly closing for them. But we stopped discussing that over the last couple of years because it really doesn't matter. And I have always believed one thing: if they come, well and good, they are most welcome. But if they don't come, it's not like we are going to go on a ventilator, Shail, as far as stock markets are concerned. So we will survive and we'll do quite well. And honestly, I don't think there is a better destination for the FIs to look at in the current scenario in the emerging market basket other than India. And they are the ones who are talking about 6.4% GDP growth rate. I take it with a pinch of salt. Even if we do 6.25, I think we are going to land in a better shape, better side of the planet with lot of positivity. So if wisdom prevails upon them, rather than selling at 15,000 and buying at 18,000, they would stay invested and come and do some valuable investing in the Indian equity markets.
Absolutely. The other point, there's so many data points to discuss these days, Gaurang. The fact that the Dow Jones index is now at its highest level since August and has appreciated 10% in a very, very short span of time is also one of the reasons for a good amount of funds working on US markets to book profit and to move those money into emerging equities. This is what Gaurang is also referring to. So given the fact that you have strong domestic momentum via SIPs, via ultra HNIs, via institutional buying, there is another tadka of tezi, which is of course the foreign institutional buying that has come in a very short while. A very fine gentleman, a fabulous reader of charts, Rahul Sharma, Director, Head of Technical Derivatives of JM Financial Services, will be joining us. But before that, let me just show you some prices which are gathering my attention. Hindustan Aeronautics 2332, fresh record high, 2% higher. BHEL, ladies and gentlemen, this is the top gainer in the F&O space, 3.2% high. Stocks that are hitting record highs: Titan, Trent from the Tata stable, Tata Motors as well, and TVS Motors. So it's the alphabet T which is getting repeatedly present as far as the NSE 500 is concerned. Let's look at NSE stocks in the broader space. There is CSB Bank 395.70, Brigade Enterprises, and NTPC. So it's a nice sprinkling of good numbers as far as faces are concerned in corporate India. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Rahul Sharma, Director, Head Technical and Derivatives Research, JM Financial Services. And what a fine day to welcome him. Rahul, good morning. Very, very warm welcome to you on Market Today. And just as you are here, we've seen a brief glimpse of 20,000 on the Nifty. Whether that's luck that you've brought in or whether that's hard work of bulls, that remains to be seen, but that number is with us.
Yeah, very good morning, Shailendra-ji. In fact, not only the hard work of bulls, but also the sacrifice of theirs. So finally, I think we are seeing the 20,000 mark after a long, long time, and we hope that it stays north of that.
Okay, Gaurav, I'm so sorry. Rahul, let's just pay attention to a couple of stocks that you might have in your on your radar. What looks good on charts at these levels?
Yeah, so yesterday's recovery was the way we closed firmly yesterday on the back of large caps doing well. We saw PSU banks participating well. One stock which has a very good risk reward, especially in the PSE basket, is Gas Authority of India. Yesterday there was a significant jump in volumes. The stock has sustained or taken support around its 20-day moving average. My sense is the time is now right for the stock to move towards the 135, 140 mark. So from a positional perspective, one can look to buy GAIL with a stop loss placed at 122, and 10% upside can be expected in the same. As far as oil marketing companies are concerned, IOC has given a very strong close yesterday. Again, a very strong breakout on the charts on the daily time frame. This breakout should take us somewhere around the 118 to 120 mark, which is another 10% upside from here. So one can also look to add on to these oil marketing names. The entire pack looks good, but in terms of risk reward, IOC is the best bet. Look to buy with a stop loss at 105. And 118, 120 should be very much on the cards in the next couple of trading sessions.
Okay. Just to get it right, Rahul, you mentioned Gas Authority of India, GAIL, and Indian Oil Corporation IOC. Did I hear that right?
Yes, absolutely. Both of them are public sector enterprises, and both of them look fairly good on the charts.
Okay, fine. Let's look at another oddball that came up on our radar over the last week. It was LIC of India. A very, very sharp move accompanied by a phenomenal rise in volume. What are the LIC charts telling you, Rahul?
Yeah, so the way we saw the move in the last week was like very vertical one. But the backdrop is a lot of underperformance that the stock had since many weeks now. Finally, that is getting corrected, and on the like slightly longer term time frame, a fresh breakout is expected once it crosses the 695 area, above which we can very well see another 8 to 10% kind of an up move. So my sense is slightly, more medium-term outlook. One can expect, more of this upside to continue. Yesterday there was some profit booking seen as the volumes were also quite significant, even on a down day yesterday. But the way this breakout has happened, I think after maybe a brief pause, we should see a continuation rally happening in the same. So my sense is 775, 780 is very much on the cards, but it will not be probably as quick a move as we've seen in the last couple of trading sessions.
Okay. And Rahul, one quick view either on the Nifty or the Bank Nifty. The Nifty is opened above its first resistance, 19,976. Do you see a record high in the vicinity?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are three things happening here. One is we had US markets which were flaring up. Secondly, we had the underperformance that Nifty was exhibiting against the US markets. And third is we have a short squeeze possible in today's session. So 19,800 was 850 was a stiff resistance. We spent around 7-8 trading sessions around that area. That got navigated yesterday on the closing basis, and today we are seeing a possible round of follow buying. Now, what this means or translates into is the short squeeze could very well take us to beyond the 20,222, the previous all-time high, which means more upside on the cards. Secondly, as far as Bank Nifty is concerned,
Right.
44,000 and above, that index also remains fairly positive, and this is exactly where the maximum shorts are present. So I think short covering could take Bank Nifty higher as well.
Right. Let's, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to the opening quotes. It's a 71-point gap up for the Nifty, 19,960 in front of you. As far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, 164 points up, 44,000 with you, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty IT index, 0.5% higher, 32,260, and the Nifty 500, the broadest index so far, 17,829 in front of you, up 0.5%. So the tone on Wednesday at T-1 ahead of the monthly expiry favors bulls in a very, very smart fashion. It's almost as if the market is very anxious to run away. Let's look at what are the top performers in the index heavyweight space. Okay, I'm looking at Reliance, a third of a percent higher, 2403. How about Infosys, 0.7% higher, 1453. How about HDFC Bank, 0.5% higher, 1536. Ladies and gentlemen, all 10 index stocks are in the green as far as the heavyweights are concerned. The top gainer is Infosys, close to 1% higher. HDFC Bank, 0.5% higher. TCS, 0.5% higher. State Bank of India, Kotak, Axis, ICICI in the green. So it's going to be a very, very broad-based rally. One very, very quick look at what's happening in the FNO space apart from index heavyweights. Manappuram Finance, low ticket, high beta, top gainer 3.6% higher. BHEL, taking it away 2.6% higher, 160. Hind Copper 1.6% higher, 171.50. Adani Enterprises 1.7% higher, 2464. A very, very quick look at NSE 500, and then I'll reach out to Rahul for his initial remarks. Okay, the Adani group remains the top draw. ATGL, Adani Total Gas, 15% higher, 742. Adani Energy Solutions, 8% higher, 939. Adani Green, Adani Power, Adani Wilmar, up between 4 and 5%. These are the top 5 gainers on NSE 500, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake what traders are thinking: high beta and high return. Let's now touch base with Rahul. Mr. Sharma, what looks good? Specifically, your comment on BHEL. I remember this has been one of your old-time favorites from a low of 30.33, if I remember correctly. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely right. And it has been quite a rally for the PSE stocks, and BHEL has been right there at the top. My sense is this rally is still not done. If it is in the very short term, we could look to book some profits. We have the monthly expiry approaching, but structurally, I think this rally has got long legs. 190 to 200 is what we are targeting as the next target for BHEL in the month of December. So from a monthly perspective, the rally is not done yet, and one could continue to remain invested in the same. As far as the new idea is concerned, my eyes are on Muthoot Finance. This stock is attempting to break out from multiple resistance area of around the 1350 mark. It has crossed that level, and my sense is, the stock is getting ready for a move of up to 1400 to 1430. So one can look to buy Muthoot Finance at these levels, have a stop loss placed at 1325. And my sense is at least a 70-80 point jump can be expected in Muthoot Finance in the coming few days.
Okay, this is the first trade of the day, and this is how the market looks at the moment. 81 points, 83 points higher, 19,972. Gaurang, bringing you in the conversation, a fairly strong opening. This is, of course, in line with what the GIFT Nifty said, and of course what a lot of smart money managers are talking about. What now? What would you do at 20,000? Are we fully valued, or is there a lot more in the pipeline as far as blue chips are concerned?
There is a lot more, Shail. Honestly speaking, looking at short to medium term, you end up sacrificing on the profits, subject to what your mentality and view on the market is, and whether you are a trader or a short-term investor. But from a long-term point of view, which I look at it, I think there is lots to see in the market in terms of higher level. There might be days of profit booking, consolidation, on fallback of local or global news flows. But my belief is that post next week, when the outcome of 5 state election is done and dusted, we'll get back to the markets. Next year, we'll be again talking about a big election. Markets might go into a little bit of choppiness ahead of those elections. And of course, as we near the big day of the result of the big election next year. So, if you are a trader, if you are a, short-term trader, or whether you buy it from overnight point of view, I think wisdom should prevail upon you. We saw a good rally yesterday. We are seeing a recent fall of rally this morning. If you're a trader, you should definitely book your profits, but I'm not too qualified to comment on that. But from an investor's point of view, there is lots that needs to be made. And I think sectorially speaking, Shail, despite of the fact a lot of people are talking about overvaluation or heating up in the defense sector, it has again come back into the spotlight. Railway stocks, power transmission, power distribution, power generation will be in the focus. Banking, NBFCs, autos, cement. There is lots to look at in the market.
Absolutely. And I'd like to draw attention from Rahul here. Rahul, is it early to look at the Nifty 200 call, the Nifty 20,000 call for the next week? Let me just get the price right. We are talking about the next weekly expiry that's likely on, just a moment please, I want to get it absolutely right. This is on December 7th. Okay, the 20,000 call is trading at 152 rupees. Would you 159? Would you want to comment on this one, Rahul, or is this too early?
Yeah, so 20,000 definitely could play a bit of a spoil sport because tomorrow we have the monthly expiry. So my sense is intraday, if there is a dip on the Nifty, the dip that I'm looking at is probably a gap filling activity. If it happens around the 19,920, 930 mark, that would be a good level to enter this particular call option, 20,000 call option of the next week expiry. So probably this is standing at 150 right now. If Nifty sees a 70, 80 point kind of a dip, this could probably be available at 125, 130. I think that would be a good level to enter. Buy it around that zone, stop loss at 100. And my sense is next week we could see the Nifty crossing 20,000 and probably 20,222 as well. So buy on dip should be the strategy because 20,000 psychologically could be a hindrance. At the same time, being the monthly expiry, we could see a bit of profit booking coming in on the long side as well. So look to buy on the dip this particular call option.
Fair point, and this is a very well strategy, a very well known strategy which Rahul has enumerated around round and whole numbers, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, especially after a very strong run up, the markets seem to pause. So whatever is the enthusiasm in the market, that is from younger retail investors, the smart guys are actually booking out some gains as far as the index is concerned. Fair point. Let's wait for this particular call to sort of seep down to 125 levels and then maybe take a trade. But you need to just keep in mind that it's trading at 153. Okay, let's look at the broader market. We've talked about the index as far as the Nifty is concerned. What is the rest of the market doing? Okay, 19 indices we track. All 19 are in the green, ladies and gentlemen. What a fine day to have both Rahul Sharma and Gaurang Shah on the screen. The IT index is a top gainer, 1% higher, 32,496. The energy space, 0.5% higher. The Nifty Energy Index, 29,421. How about the Bombay Stock Sensex? Well, the Sensex is also shooting up fairly well. So this is how the markets are structured. If I were to press you, Rahul, on picking up a blue chip from within the Nifty pack, simply because the Nifty has relatively underperformed the mid cap and the small cap index over the last 8 months, what would be your favorite?
Yeah, so I go with the IT pack today, because this sector is leading the show in the first 10-15 minutes of trade, and one stock that comes right on the top of the buying list is Infosys. So around 1455, this stock is shaping up pretty well on the charts, and my sense is 1500, 1520 is very much on the cards. So look to buy Infosys at these levels. It has consolidated for last 5-6 sessions around the 1440 mark. So maybe have a stop loss placed at 1430, and one can go long in Infosys, and we expect IT stocks to do well at least from the very short term from here. So 1520 is what we're expecting as a target. One can look to buy Infosys.
Let's get Gaurang into the conversation. Gaurang, suppose a person approaches you at this point of time saying he wants to invest a fresh 5 lakhs into the market, or enter now, having made the mistake of not participating in this rally so far. What would your suggestion would be, and where would you deploy these 5 lakhs?
Well, I'll stick to the basics, to be very honest, rather than going out and venturing into something risky. So I would possibly recommend Tata Motors, L&T, and amongst the IT names that you were just mentioning about IT index, I think there is one company that has mid cap rather, not a large cap share. Mid-cap IT company which has done phenomenally well over the last year or maybe a little bit more is Cyient Limited. I think it was at 1800 plus. I don't know what the current level is, but I would pick these 3 names and 5 lakhs proportionately divided into these 3 names.
I would imagine there is a technical issue as far as the sound is concerned, be that as it may. Let's look at what the index is doing, ladies and gentlemen. We have 19,992 in front of you. The index, the Nifty on an intraday basis is now above the second resistance of 19,985. It's already hit a century, and I'd like to again look at the option that we had suggested. It's now at 167. Remember, we tracked it at 151, 152. Okay, what else is buzzing? Rahul, this is to you. One of your earlier favorites in the era of the COVID emergency was CDSL. Now, a fresh spark has come into this counter. Fairly high prices, fairly high volumes coming in at about 1838, 1839. Is there a positional view that you share on CDSL, which might not be in the immediate term, but how does it look on the longer term charts?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this stock looks ripe for another round of up move, and one can expect this stock to head towards the 2000 mark. So, structurally, this is a Poland flag pattern on the daily charts, which is a continuation pattern essentially. So, one can look to buy these levels. 1790 should be an ideal stop loss.
Let's say that.
1790 should be a stop loss for the long positions, and one can very well see the stock breaking out its previous high of around 1897. So my sense is another 10% upside possible. Very strong bullish Poland flag pattern formation is seen in the charts of CDSL.
What we'll do is we'll take a very quick break at this point of time. It's almost 9:30. The first 15 minutes of trade are with us. It's a sea of green across the board. I think Gorang's green tie is working its magic, and a bit of magic is coming from my light green shirt. But at the moment, 99.85, 95 points higher on the index, and the Nifty Bank about 175 points higher, 44,050. The top performing index is the Nifty IT index, up 1.3%, 32,540. A short break. On the other side, we'll be discussing more stocks. Stay tuned.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, Managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back to what has been a fantastic morning as far as markets are concerned. It's almost a century on the Nifty, up 100 points, 19,989. And it's the IT index that's taking away the entire focus as far as bulls are concerned. 451 points higher, 32,570. We've just had a conversation with Rahul on the IT space. He pointed out to Infosys technically, and Gaurang pointing to Cyient in terms of a long-term pick with a lot of relevance on its strength of fundamentals. Rahul, coming back to you, within the mid-cap IT space, you have all kind of stocks going up. L&T Mindtree, I see, L&T Technology Services, Tech Mahindra. We have a smart rally coming into Wipro, Emphasis as well. What would you prefer in the mid-cap IT space? Of course, very high valuations, but what can one do? We are in a roaring bull market.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, we have to look at stocks which, present a big upside opportunity, and Coforge is one of them. In fact, we had also recommended this stock in our Diwali picks, and even from a slightly long-term perspective, we are bullish on the same. As far as the short term is concerned, I think there's a good chance that the stock heads towards the 6,000 mark. So one can look to buy into this dip. After the big move that we saw in the middle of November, the stock had been cooling off and consolidating, but now I think the time is ripe for the stock to see another round of up move. So one can look to buy for targets of 5,800 and 6,000 for the month of December in the next 10 to 15 days, that is. And the stop loss can be placed at 5,500. So, from the IT pack, especially from the mid-cap IT pack, Coforge looks pretty solid.
Okay. This is what is the pick as far as the mid-cap IT space is concerned. One more broader question to you, Rahul, and also I'll try and get Gaurang's view into the system. We'll have a listing of Tata Technologies, a much feted, much awaited, and a much invested into IPO next week. Coming to you, Rahul, first, would that take away money from KPIT Technologies, which has run up very, very sharply over the last 6 odd months? First, your view on that one, and then we'll get Gaurang into Tata Tech.
Yeah, I think, some bit of money that has already moved in. Once the stock hit the 1,600 mark, we saw a sharp correction in KPIT. In the individuals, the setup of the chart should continue to play its part. And my sense is, maybe a day here and there, but the structural trend of the stock is still positive. And I think even at these levels, it's a good opportunity to add on to the stock. So from a medium-term perspective, we remain positive on KPIT, and probably there would be a one day here and there kind of turbulence, but that should not deter an investor from staying invested in the same. So one can stay put, probably have a stop loss at 1450 in case traders are looking to get into it. And my sense is the 1600 level should be taken out anytime soon.
Okay, so there isn't much cause for worry. The bulls at KPIT, who've made a killing over the last 6, 7, 8 months, may rest assured as far as the technical charts are concerned. Rahul, Tata Technologies hasn't listed, but I'm sure this is on your radar when it comes to making a quick buck on the listing day. What is your own estimation given the sharp oversubscription, the heavy demand for the counter? Where do you think it will get listed?
Yeah, so my sense is it should be a bumper listing for sure. But since I look at history for any sort of projections, so at this point in time it will be next to impossible to give a number to it. But rest assured, it should be given the kind of subscription that has happened. My sense is it should do well. And at the same time, IT sector is coming out from a good 12 to 18 month kind of an underperformance. So that should also help revive the animal spirits in the sector.
Okay, the one stock that I want to mark now is Muthoot Finance. Remember, this is something that Rahul pointed out as his first pick. It's a breakout rally that's happening. 1390, this is the day's high. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a price that we've seen last in March of 2022. So that makes it 12 plus 6, an 18-month high. Fabulous call there, Rahul. Would you like to rework the charts and see what to do now? Book profit 1392, or is the fun just getting started?
Yeah, thank you, Shailji. So, my sense is, the stock is already, in the green. We are, making around 40 points after we initiated the long around the 1355 area. So, around 1400, look to book at least 50% of your profits. The rest of them can be held on for the next target of around 1430, 1450 on the upside. The breakout, the nature of the breakout is a pretty big one. So, do sort of, wait for the second target as well. My sense is we should see 1450 possibly, early next week. So stay put would be the recommendation, but around 1400 one can look to book partial profits.
Okay, and with this point, I'd just like to mention that it's just about 20 minutes into trade, and Muthoot Finance futures have already gathered 4.2% open interest on the green side. So this is a very, very good development, and as Rahul mentions, there seems to be more legs to this rally. So hang on. And at the same point of time, 20,000 has been reclaimed, now 110 points higher on the Nifty, and this has come because of Reliance. Days high 2409. This has come because of HDFC Bank, days high 1541, and this has come because of Infosys, days high 1457. Remember, these are the three index heaviest weighted counters, accounting for somewhere like 30-35% weightage. And if these three stocks are at days high, you know that a sharp move is most likely. The other thing I want to mention on the Nifty at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is at 940 the advanced decline ratio is 45:5. That means for every one share that's down, there are 9 that are at in the green. Coforge is what Rahul suggested, 5706 days high, and the option that we had discussed, ladies and gentlemen, the 20,000 call for December 7th at the moment is at 173. Remember, we started looking at it at 153. This is the highest level that you've seen as far as the index is concerned at September of 20th. So as I pointed out, a fresh 2-month high. You would like to revise your views on any of the stocks that you've mentioned, Rahul? Infosys, strength coming back in 1457, a view here.
Yeah, so like we said, IT stocks are sort of leading the way today, and the not only the mid-cap IT, but also the large-cap IT should play their part. My sense is, there is still a lot of upside in Infosys, and one can look to add at these levels. 1500, 1520 is what we are expecting the stock to test in the short term, and one can look to buy at these levels. So, even TCS is one, which is also another candidate for a breakout, and this breakout happens once it crosses 3540. My sense is, it may not happen today, but you should keep this on your radar, and once this breakout happens, we are expecting this to head towards the 3650 mark. So after Infosys, TCS is another stock which can be looked upon for playing on the long side.
Okay, this is what looks good to Rahul. And in a very, very short while, a very fine gentleman from the mid-cap IT space, the founder of Nucleus Software, Mr. Vishnu Dosad, will be joining us to discuss the workings of this wonderful stock that has taken a lot of interest from traders on the long side. But a fabulous view coming into the market now, firmly above 20,000. Before we let you go, Rahul, one quick call on Reliance Industries. Yes, it's been a stock that has mystified traders and investors for a very, very long time, but a medium-term view on RIL. 2409 for you.
Yeah, so about 2400, the stock is expected to change gears, and my sense is it should very well see itself heading towards the 2480, 2490 mark. So, I would remain, long on this one, because this has been a major underperforming in the Nifty 50 space. And with the kind of resistance that 2400 was acting since, this entire underperformance period, we expect, short covering to emerge in the same. So one can look to, add on to these levels, and a good 3 to 4% rally can be expected in the short term in Reliance, which could translate into a 20,200 level kind of a Nifty, a new all-time high for the Nifty. So, stay long, stay bullish should be the mantra in Reliance.
Fine. That's the excuse me, the view coming in on Reliance Industries. And Rahul, one quick one. Petronet LNG, one of those stocks that has really disappointed long-term investors, as also traders who've been wanting this one to sort of be a part of the PSU rally. What are the charts telling you? 6, 8, 10-month low at 198. What does it say?
Yeah, this stock has come out of a lot of pain, and especially the entire month of November has been gone into a base formation. Now, what this means is the launch pad is possibly ready from here, and the stock could very well see heading towards the 220 mark. So, risk reward at this point in time is very favorable, and one can look to buy with a stop loss at 195. And one of those rare stocks which in a bull market have sort of not participated, not performed. So a catch-up rally is on the cards, and one can look to expect a 8 to 10% kind of a rally in the same.
Okay, this is the one that we are talking about, and just as I mentioned that it's Rahul's presence that's rubbed a lot of good luck on the markets. Let me just mention two stocks. Muthoot Finance, 1397, fresh intraday high. Rahul's view is that you will see the early 1400s on this particular account, a very strong move coming in. This was a stop pick. Of course, Infosys breathing fire again, 1458. That's what he said as far as the long side is concerned, and a very good view coming in on RIL. Let's also pay a bit of let's also take a very quick view on DLF from Rahul. Rahul, 653, 14 years of breakout. What are the medium term charts on DLF telling you?
Yeah, so DLF has been our top Diwali pick, and it has led the entire Diwali basket that we have recommended. My sense is 750 is very much on the cards in the next 3 to 4 months kind of a time frame, and any dips if they present are to be bought into. Even from a momentum perspective, the last 7-8 days of consolidation is presenting another breakout opportunity where the stock can head towards the 660 mark. So for traders can look to buy for a target of 660, whereas investors can stay invested for a target of 750 on the upside. As a stop loss for traders, I think 630 should hold ground, and one can keep a stop loss placed at that.
All right. With that, Rahul, thank you so much for sparing your time with us today. And as always, we'll remember Muthoot Finance when it hits 1425, 1415, you with great warmth and affection. Thank you so much, sir. We'll take a very quick break, and on the other side of the break is waiting Mr. Vishnu Dosad. He's the founder of Nucleus Software. Stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on a fine Wednesday morning. 20,000 of the Nifty has been scaled, and it's a sea of green across the board. But at this moment of time, let's shift gears and look at the corporate part of the market. Joining us on Market today is Mr. Vishnu Dusad. He's the co-founder and managing director of Nucleus Software Exports, a very well-known mid-cap IT counter, and a very dear friend of mine. We've been in touch over the last 25, 26 years, and he's, in his very soft-spoken manner, always been bullish on the mid-cap IT space. Before I welcome him, let me just show you some numbers. There's been a fantastic performance coming in from Nucleus Software. Second quarter revenue is 217 crores compared with 139 crores a year ago. Net margin is 20.5% compared with 7.9% a year ago. Profit after tax is 44 crores, 44.6 crores, and hold your breath, 1 year ago it was 11 crore rupees. A very, very warm welcome to you, Vishnuji, and what a pleasure to host you, sir, on the back of this fantastic performance. A 4x rise in net profit. Tell our viewers, how do you do it?
Thank you very much for those extremely kind words, Shail. Essentially, we are focused on a long-term basis on delivering value to our customers. And our business model is slightly different. Our business from the rest of the IT industry, most of the IT industry, we are into an intellectual property business. And what the intellectual property business enables you to do is, while you are continuing to deliver value, when you are able to convince your customers of the value that is getting delivered to them, both existing as well as prospective customers, you are able to get the right price for your intellectual property, and that is what we've been able to achieve in last 2-3 quarters, where we have gone back to our customers, and we've conveyed to them that the prices that we were at which we were offering our intellectual property were ultra deep discounted prices. And of course it was difficult for them to appreciate that, as to how can any business run on such discounting for such a long time. But that is what the reality is, and we have been able to convey that to our customers, and they have really appreciated that. And they really appreciate that fact, and that is how we've been able to get some reasonable increase. Incidentally, as I mentioned, these were ultra deep discounted prices. They continue to be deeply discounted prices. So that even after our increase, apart from the price part, I think it is the value that is what is most important. We have, for example, 40 lakh crores worth of retail assets that are getting originated and or serviced and or collected using our lending platform. Now, when we talk about 40 lakh crores worth of retail assets, we are talking about generation of 40,000 crores worth of, or no, sorry, I lost a zero there. 4 lakh crores worth of interest. If we were to just take a 10% average. So we're talking about 4 lakh crores worth of interest. And it's a huge responsibility on us to ensure that the calculations are, every single loan calculation, interest calculation is absolutely correct, because it is a question of credibility of our customers in the eyes of their customers. Neither should they be charging a penny
Yes.
extra, nor can they afford to leave a penny, because then it will be hurting their own business. So it is a responsibility on the shoulders of nuclear software to ensure that this 4 lakh crores worth of retail interest is calculated with precision, and that is what we have been doing for now decades. Of course, it has reached 40 lakh crores in last year, but on a sustained manner, we've been doing that, and our customers appreciate uh, you know uh, that value that we are delivering,
Right,
and
sir.
that's how we've been able to achieve this. Yeah.
Right. Vishnuji, 2 points I'd like to make. One, you've had a very, very clear-headed strategy when it comes to how to execute work in the BFSI space. I'd like to just drill down into this profit and top line. See, profit has gone up 4x and the top line is up about 2x, 139 to 221, and of course 11 crores to 44 crores. Now tell us, how much is this volume and how much is this price hike?
Okay, I think I would. Excellent question. I think good 80% would be price hike, and 15-20% would be volume.
Well, that's wonderful. In this kind of an environment, Mr. Dusad, if you are able to convince your clients to give you an 80% hike in billing rate, then you have our most sincere congratulations. But tell us, now at 44 crores on a quarterly basis and a run rate of somewhere like 225 crores quarterly, where are you headed? Next 2 quarters, what can we expect when Mr. Dusad joins us again?
Yeah. So Shail, you know us that we do not give any guidance. So I would not be able to answer questions in that direction. I can only convey that the market is responding in a very positive manner to whatever we are offering, and with whatever communication we are going to our existing and prospective customers with, and we are extremely optimistic about how things are going to unfold over coming years. Of course, we don't neither do we talk about quarters or years. We only thing we can say is how optimistic are we? And yes, we are extremely optimistic.
Okay. I had known that guidance is not something what Vishnuji believes in sharing, but sir, it was my duty to ask this question to you. Maybe on some quarter you will change your mind and let us peek into your thought process. Nevertheless, it's okay as long as you say that clients are happy and we look forward to do what we are doing. That's a good enough indication. Vishnuji, one good thing about how Nucleus Software has conducted its balance sheet is a series of very, very effective buybacks. You've reduced stake at a time, you've reduced liquid float in the market, and of course, also increased your stake. Now, are there any more buybacks in the pipeline, or do you think that market has rewarded you adequately?
Okay, as far as this question is concerned, I think it's a question that board addresses itself in a regular manner, whether shareholders would be rewarded via dividend route or a buyback route, and how much is something that only board would decide. One thing I can certainly tell you proactively is there is no acquisition that is on cards as far as usage of the cash is concerned.
Okay, okay. That's a fair point. And why should there be an acquisition? If you're doubling your top line and showing a 4x increase in profits, an acquisition will only sort of take away management bandwidth. Tell us, Vishnuji, in terms of what the clients are telling you, what is the granularity of their thought when it comes to views that there will be a recession in the US and client expenditure on IT will either pause or come down? That's something that's getting reflected in your larger peers, whether it's the first, second, or the third ranked companies as far as software exporters are concerned. But midcap is in a very, very fine shape. What are your clients telling you in terms of future IT spend towards Indians?
I think since our numbers are very, very small as compared to the industry as a whole, we, generally speaking, we do not get affected by these ups and downs. And Now, having said that, the jury is still out as to what is it, how exactly it is going to pan out, because we have been hearing about recession for now more than a year, and we technically, at least, we have not seen it. We have seen layoffs and so on and so forth, but the technical recession is still been thwarted. So there is a possibility that we could get that. There are quite a spectrum of opinions. Some are saying that the peak that the American market has seen is now behind them in terms of strength, and some, of course, otherwise continue to remain bullish. So very difficult to comment on how it is going to pan out.
Okay. Mr. Dusad, it's always a pleasure to host you, sir. You are so reticent in terms of sharing what is in the pipeline as far as Nucleus Software is concerned. But as always, it's has been a pleasure and will be one to listen to you and your views and on the fantastic performance of Nucleus Software. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Shail. Very nice interacting with you.
Okay, let's look at the newest boy in the game, ladies and gentlemen. IREDA is listed, and it's been a fantastic listing 54 rupees 30 paisa in front of you, about a 69% uptick on the IPO price of 32, if I remember correctly. So a fabulous listing for one of the IPOs that was intensely oversubscribed. This is a government run NBFC in the renewable energy space. It's a mini Ratna in the making, and very strong parentage, very strong loan book, phenomenal numbers when it comes to the top line and the bottom line, and a very nice pricing of the IPO, which is now reflecting on the very fantastic listing that you've seen on the screen. The Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, is 113 points higher, 20,000 for you. It's now consolidating above that level, and we've seen a fantastic day as far as markets are concerned. Strong momentum above 20,000. A very strong listing of IREDA, and this is the first one out of the four that has out of the five which raised money last week that's listed. We are waiting for the big one, which is going to be somewhere soon, which is Tata Technologies. But with that, we'll take your leave, and before I go, we'd just like to bow our head in respect to the passing on of Mr. Charlie Munger, one of the world's most well-known, the most erudite long-term investors that the market has ever known. He's a close associate and partner of Mr. Warren Buffett. Both of them run perhaps the most successful investing partnership in the form of Berkshire Hathaway, and at a ripe young age of 99, Mr. Munger is now with the gods. A very heartfelt condolence to his family, and a day when the Nifty is reclaimed 20,000. We mourn the passing away of a great investing mind. Something that he always said: try to buy something great at a fair price rather than buy something mediocre at a low price. And it's the filter of quality that made Berkshire Hathaway what he envisaged it to be about 50 years ago. The benefits of long-term investing and his wisdom have been percolated across the world through his wonderful letters, as also his fabulous wit. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we draw to a close on Market Today. Remain glued to Business Today Television for all your financial needs. A great day indeed as far as the Nifty is concerned. We've reclaimed 20,000, a 2-month high on the index.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.